So a while back, almost a year and a half ago, I decided to start training BJJ, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and I did it for 6 months, and I decided to share what I learned with you. And even though my experience was pretty short, 6 months is not that long, but I was able to learn a lot of things, and it truly shifted my perspective on a lot of topics. And I wanted to share what I learned. So when I started going to jiu-jitsu, I had no idea about like how the sport is really, how that martial art works, what are the specific details. I've seen some highlights, but I didn't really know what is it about. And I just randomly decided it because I was searching on like some different martial arts, and I was like, you know what? Let me just go sign up for Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So I just got like a free session, just went to see how it is, and I just signed up the same day, and it was truly a good decision that I made. I'm very proud that I made that decision. Eventually, I'm gonna go back, but because of like I was really busy with other stuff, with YouTube and my job and other extra stuff that I was doing, I had to stop it because just too many things at the same time. My time was just getting destroyed, so I had to sacrifice something, and it was jiu-jitsu, right? But the lessons that I learned was truly valuable, and it's gonna make me to go back in the future for sure. But the reason, the lesson number one that I learned was to be humble, right? So a lot of the times you judge people based on their looks, and you think they're not really as strong as you think they are. You judge people by their books. You think, oh, like this guy is kind of like nerdy. He probably doesn't know anything, right? So in martial arts, trust me, like in any martial arts, like you're gonna meet people and you're gonna be like, yeah, this guy doesn't really seem like that type of a guy, like who's gonna beat your ass, right? But trust me, when it gets to the business, they're gonna like destroy you if they want to. But when you train, you're gonna understand, like, wow, if it comes to a real situation, I'm helpless. Like if it comes to a situation where like someone's gonna attack you, and if you don't know how to defend yourself, you're helpless. Imagine if you're with your girlfriend, with your family, and someone attacks you and you don't know how to defend. It feels scary. I'm not gonna lie, it feels scary, and you're gonna be like, wow, like it's truly humbling that you're like, wow, I don't know anything, and I can be easy victim. Like a lot of people don't even know anything how to fight or whatever outside, but their confidence is like through the roof. But bro, if someone knows how to fight and they wanna like do damage to you, like serious things can happen. So you have to be careful. There's this quote by Patrick Bet-David. He says like, choose your enemies wisely. So you gotta choose your enemies wisely. So I'm not saying be a bitch, but again, you don't. If you don't got the skills, if you can't back it up, like listen, don't be a victim out here. You know what I mean? But long story short, it truly humbles you and puts you in the perspective that like, wow, these people can't destroy me. But here's the thing though, a lot of them are so skilled, they're so strong, but they're so respectful, they're so humble, they're like so like they are willing to teach you a lot of things, they're willing to teach you the ways and the skills and the techniques so you can grasp the concepts too. And that's the beautiful thing about like martial arts. Like a lot of people are chill, like no one has like anger issues or whatever. There may be some people, but like I'm saying, like majority of them are nice. They're not really trying to like hurt you, they're trying to teach you. And it's like more like in a, like during the sparring, like no one really has like a you know bad intention with you. You know what I mean? Or at least I didn't experience it, right? And even if they like, they submit to you or like they beat you, like they're doing it in a way that you're gonna learn. And like a lot of people that I was training over there, like it allowed me to like learn a lot of things. Like they were giving me a lot of pointers, and I was able to like, wow, I like in this department, I like in this department. Like for example, my cardio was terrible, right? So I was like doing like 3 rounds. I was like, whew, I'm gassed. I can't do anything. Like if it stretches out like the rounds, I'm gonna be done. And I was done. Like there were times I was like, holy, I can't do anything. Besides this was like besides the skill aspect, also the physical aspect was like, oh, I'm stiff. My cardio is terrible. Like I just cannot compete with these guys. And my weight and my muscle mass kind of helped me in different situations because I go to the gym, like I lift weights, but it also can be like a restriction because you're not as like agile. You gas at 2 kilo because you have way more muscle mass, and all these things are kind of like also holding you back at the same time. And it really showed me that like muscles are not everything. It's like about what kind of use you can get out of the muscle, you know? So I was like, wow, like if the muscle is just big for the sake of being big, then it's like kind of pointless, you know? So it changed my mindset on that. Like I definitely want to be more on the athletic side. Back in old days, I was like, well, I want to be the biggest. Like, I want to be this super jacked. And like when you lift for a good couple of years, you already have a lot of good amount of muscle mass. I'm not saying you're gonna be insanely huge, especially if you're natural, but you're gonna be decently huge. You're gonna have a lot of muscle mass, and if you combine it with martial arts with other cardio activities, you may lose a little bit of muscle mass, but you're gonna look way more shredded, way more leaner, and you're gonna be way more athletic. You know, so that's the route I want to go. And another thing that I learned is that people, it really changes your ego, right? So whenever you go there, especially I did, I felt like I had an ego, like when I went there, I'm not gonna lie. And I felt like it's, you know, I can just do whatever I want to do in the sense of like physically, because I'm bigger than a lot of guys. I'm like 210 pounds, 15 pounds at the time. I'm still around that region. I'm like 6'1". Like I was physically bigger than a lot of guys, but it really taught me that, listen, like just because you're bigger, like doesn't mean you can, you know, do certain things. And if the person is actually skilled enough, you're a victim. You know what I mean? So you're gonna be a prey, and you have to be willing to put your ego to the side, suffer, take the losses, get submitted, and learn. That's the only way to improve. And you cannot be out there egotistic and try to be like, yeah, I'm this tough guy, blah, blah, blah. You have to put your ego to the side and actually learn. Be like actual student of the game. And that was like another great part. It forced me to, you know, actually to be like fully learning, put all the ego to the side and like listen from everybody. And so yeah, like those are the two main things, like being humble and putting away your ego. Those are the main two things that I learned. Now about the actual sport, what I enjoyed was the cardio. Like it put a lot of pressure and taxing on my cardiovascular abilities. Like I had to like actually challenge myself. I was getting like destroyed in the beginning especially, and I had to improve. So it really challenged me on that aspect. Another thing was my flexibility. Like I noticed like I'm really stiff, my body just doesn't really move well, so a lot of things had to be adjusted. And the actual sport, like the skills, it's really cool that you're able to like do all these moves. It teaches you a lot of ways that you can get out of different situations. If someone gets really close to you, you can, you know, do certain moves, or if you're behind somebody, you can do, choke them out or whatever. I'm not saying do it. No, I'm not promoting this or whatever behavior. Just saying like it happens in the sport. But yeah, those are like one of the main things. Also, another thing that is like a negative thing that I'm gonna share. I didn't feel danger. You know what I mean? This is like one thing that that's why I wanna try boxing, is that with boxing, if you don't dodge, you can get hit. With like jiu-jitsu, it's like even if you get submitted or armbar or whatever, it may hurt a little bit, but majority of the times, I wasn't scared. You know what I mean? But with boxing, especially like even like a school fight or something, or like a regular like sparring boxing session, it's like I don't want to get hit. Like no matter who it is, I just don't want to get hit. You know, and it's like painful to get hit. Then that's why I want to try boxing too. But jiu-jitsu, that was like the only thing that I didn't like, especially for like the actual sport. I'm sure if you do it competitively, it's like dangerous. You gotta be careful. But like, I didn't feel the danger when I was training. Does it make sense? But I guess it's not a downside. I felt like I needed to had that extra stress on me, and I felt like it was more of like a sporty sport than like an actual self-defense or like a fighting training thing, whatever. But it's not necessarily a thing, like a downside, but it's like observation that I had. But it also can be a good thing because it allows you to learn, without any downsides. You don't have to be actually necessarily get injured or hit or something. You're able to just learn, without any dangers necessarily, you know what I mean? But long story short, I really loved my experience with Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I will go back to it. I don't know when. I haven't decided a time frame, but I'm going to go back. I was a white belt. I didn't really get promoted in 6 months, but I think I got like 2 stripes or whatever. So I had to eventually go back. I wanna get like, I'm not gonna say black belt, but I wanna progress like at the skill of jiu-jitsu for sure. I really loved it. I would suggest you to try it out, especially if you've never done a martial art. It really gives you like a good mindset to have to carry to other different sports and to your life in general. You're gonna be able to make new friends, and I truly love that experience. And I would definitely suggest you to try it out. So if you enjoyed the video, drop a like, drop a sub. I usually make self-development content, fitness content, diet, all this stuff, mindset. So if you want to see more of that content, drop a like, drop a sub. I do have a Discord community. We're gonna do live weekly calls very soon, and I'll see you there. Take care.